Okay.
I'm back.
Now, okay. So, like vector components, we are already done with this. You will have to just consider the angle, and then if you add cosine with it, it will be the horizontal component, and if you add sine with it, it will be the vertical component. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, mm, okay, before reading this, should we study the unit vectors? Okay, let's go ahead with it. Okay, see. So a vector quantity can be resolved by parallelogram law into two or more vectors in different directions. Okay. So we have already like read about that. Okay. Mostly we will work with two vectors. Okay. So the process of resolving a vector into two or more vectors is called resolution of a vector. Like we have previously calculated the resultant of a vector. Now we will have a resultant, and based on that, we will figure out the components, or the like we will resolute it. Okay. All right. Say R is the vector, resultant vector already. Okay. Now we want to distribute it into two components. Okay. We want to distribute it into two components. So along the x-axis, we take a horizontal component, and along the y-axis, we take a vertical component. Tell me, are you clear up until now?
Yes.
Okay. So now we are going to take the angle between the x-axis and the resultant vector as alpha. Okay. So that will be r cosine alpha. What did I say? R cosine alpha would be our horizontal component, right?
Yeah.
Understand my point? R cosine alpha will be our horizontal component. Okay. All right. As we've discussed previously, I mean, it's not necessary like reading all these things and all. It might just confuse you. And tell me, for Q, what is the angle between x-axis and the R? What is the angle?
45 degrees.
45 degrees where? There is no. Okay, it's alpha.
Oh,
Okay.
alpha.
All right. So that means the vertical component would be Q sine alpha. Q sine alpha. Okay. All right. Understanding my point?
Why,
Or have you forgotten?
why not
Sorry,
beta?
sorry. Not Q sine alpha. My bad, my bad. Sorry, sorry, sorry. R sine alpha. R sine alpha. What am I saying?
Okay.
R sine. Yes.
Arsine. I got
Yes.
confused.
Yeah, all right. R sine alpha. All right. So that's that. So, like previously, you have to get a vector and then multiply it with cosine alpha or maybe sine alpha. So that is how we distribute it into components. Okay. So there are like a lot of theoretical things written here, but it is not needed for you. Okay. And see what is I hat here. What this I hat mean? I hat is a unit vector. Okay. All right. And we have read about what was it? Like rectangular, I mean, I just forget the term, English terms. Okay, like we read about this system, right? Like in this plane, the z axis, we are considering k hats. In this y axis, we are considering z hats, and in the x axis, we are considering I hats. Okay, so that is how they have just taken the I mean, directions. You could say directions or something. It should be R sine alpha j hat. Why have they taken I hat? I don't understand. There should be a mistake. Of the resultant R, P is called the horizontal, P is called the tangential component, the vertical component. I think there's a mistake, okay, because see, the R sine alpha, it's acting in the vertical direction, right? It's the
Yes.
vertical direction. So in the vertical direction, you cannot have the I hat. It should be J hat. Okay. And even if I just consider all of them out, that is the direction for the r cosine alpha and direction for the r sine alpha cannot be same, right? They aren't the same. Okay. So
Yes.
that means we need different unit vectors for that. Okay. One is working in the x-axis, that means it should be represented by I hat, which is perfectly fine. And one is working in the y-axis, so it should be represented by j hat. Okay, all right. Anyway, it's just like theoretical things. So if we are able to solve the maths perfectly, so then these things won't matter. Okay, but sadly, there are like mistakes in the book, in this book. All right. Anyway, so are you understood or have you understood the components like how you can resolute resultant vector or one vector into like two components, that is one is vertical component and one is horizontal component.
Yes.
Huh?
So with the vertical component, it would just be our sine alpha, and the horizontal will just be replacing the sine with the cosine.
Yes. And what will be the
Okay.
angle? Angle would be between x-axis and the vector. Okay, angle would be between
Yes,
x-axis and the vector. Okay.
because we hate the y-axis.
It's not like that.
Okay.
It's not like about hating the y. See, even if you, I don't, actually, it will make you confused. Okay, I'm not going into that. Okay. If you understand that, see, even if you see the definition here, see, sine alpha plus beta equals to 90 degree, then sine beta is equals to sine 90 degree minus alpha, then it turns into cosine alpha. Okay. And again, if you would see that if you consider this cosine beta, then this is cosine 90 degree minus alpha, that is sine beta. Okay. So I'm not getting there. Okay. Because it's not necessary. Okay. You will get more confused with that. Okay. So just like work with whatever we have. That is r cosine alpha and r sin alpha. That's enough. Okay, what is the example? Suppose p vector is acting along the arm AB and q vector is acting along the arm BC of the triangle. So again, it's not necessary. It's not necessary to understand it like that. If the directions are given, we know from the triangular law. So now tell me, from the triangular law, what will be the equation? Tell me. This is the direction r
Equation
vector is working. This is the direction q vector is working. Direction p vector is working.
R, whoa,
Haven't you been practicing this?
yes.
Okay. So what was the triangular formula? Triangular law for vectors.
Um, P vector plus Q vector
P vector plus
equals
q
R.
vector. You are saying that p vector plus q vector equals to r vector. Okay, let's see if you are correct. Okay. So P
Oh,
starts
what?
from the A point and then ends at B point. Then from the B point, Q vector starts. Okay, it's clearly fine. But if we
Oh, cool.
consider R vector, R isn't it starting from the ending point of the second vector? It shouldn't be like that. It has to start from the starting point of the first vector. That is, R vector should act in this direction, right? Okay.
So would
So
that be P vector is equal to Q plus?
no. You are right. Okay, it's not like you have to change it. See, if it has to work in this direction, then what we have to do? We have to just add a minus sign in front of the r. That is p vector plus q vector is to minus r vector.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to
Yeah.
just go on with the law. Okay. So what is the law? The law is you have to start from the one point. Okay. You are starting from the one point. It's correct. And wherever it ends, you have to start from that point again. Okay, it ends at some point, and then The vector connecting the first vector's first point and the second vector's second point will be our resultant. Okay. All right. So be careful about that. These things would be needed. Okay. So now say for instance, okay, now tell me what will be the value for q vector plus r vector. Okay, let me show you the directions as well. What I am meaning by this is q vector and this is r vector. And this is p vector already given. So q vector plus r vector will be equal to represent it with p.
Yes.
So it starts from this point and then end at this point, and its ending point r vector starts. So what should be the resultant vector?
Wait, so Q, R, negative P.
Negative p, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So it's mostly needed in mathematics, but also we came up with this topic, so I also showed it to you. Correct. Okay. All right. Understand this thing. If you don't understand, please let me know.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I got it.
Okay, let's see how much you remember. Let me give you that
Oh
scenario.
no.
Say this is a sloping ground. This is a rolling ball. Okay. And say this is the angle, say alpha. Okay. And this is the weight. Okay. Let me know the components of the weight. Okay. Weight, that is I'm representing with W. Let me know the components of weight. Let me know the components of weight. You will have to be
So
familiar with the
the
scenario. No,
horizontal
no, you
component
have
would
to
be,
draw the diagram properly and you have to show the all of it. Okay. And I
okay.
also mentioned like you have to like rotate, think about rotating the axis and all. Okay.
I don't like rotating the axis.
That is just a hint. That is just a hint. Okay. If you can remember it without that, it's fine. Okay. Yeah. Like this is an inclined slope. So which one would you consider to be the x-axis? You might find the confusion regarding that. That is why I say
Where the ball is rolling.
if you like rotate it alpha degrees to the say this is clockwise direction, then the thing will somewhat change into like this, right? Then also the angle remains alpha. Okay. So that means this should be our horizontal direction. And in this way, you will get vertical. I've already done all of it and just mentioned the values. Okay. Alright. You have to be like, you have to be very quick and you should be able to understand this. Otherwise, I mean, you will find difficulty in doing the maths. Okay. Because in the next stages, we will get into dynamics, then you'll get maths of friction and all. All of it involves the components. Okay. Vertical and horizontal components.
The resultant vector the
Resultant vector.
would
What
be
do you mean by
the
resultant vector?
And the resultant vector, the okay, I can't find the words.
Okay, just send me the image, what you've done. You don't
Okay.
have to like explain words. I don't see anything.
What do you mean?
What have you done? Did you understand my question
Wait,
at all?
there's another one. There's another one. Sorry. There was two.
Okay, okay, okay.
I just rotated the thing, rotated the diagram, so um the surface that the ball is rolling becomes the x-axis, and
Okay.
um I labeled each side,
No, I
and then
don't think I've understood the question at all. See, first of all, don't rotate the diagram. I said that think of rotating it because it will help you understand in which direction you will take the horizontal component and in which direction you will take the vertical component. Do not rotate the diagram because it will make
oh,
it more complex for you. Okay, it will make it more complex for you because you see then the weight is working in this. Okay, how can weight work in angular way? Weight has to act in a straight downward way, right? Weight cannot act in somewhat like in this direction, right? It will make it confusing for you. Okay, why I said that it is because that you understand in which direction it will be the horizontal component, nothing else. Do not rotate it. Do not rotate the system. Even we didn't do it. Okay, I found it somewhere that someone said it. That like the explanation. Okay, all right. So this is how we get to understand this is the horizontal component. That is why I said it to you. Okay, do not rotate, try to rotate the whole system. Otherwise, you will be really confused. Okay. All right. That is the first point. Okay. So you will not rotate the system. Okay. Because the thing
okay.
is downward sloping, right? If you change the thing, you are changing the whole scenario. Okay. So uh, I did not say that you have to rotate it. Even if you have understood it like that, no, don't rotate it. It is like that I am making you understand that okay, in this direction it should be the horizontal component. Okay, because it might seem like okay, so it's like downward sloping, so how it can be a horizontal component because it's not the x-axis. Understand my point? But if you think about it, the ball is in this plane, so isn't this component parallel to this plane as well? Understanding my point?
Yes.
So that means that is why we can consider it the x-axis. What is x-axis? Say a system is acting in some sort of direction. Something parallel to it will be horizontal component, you could say, or it could be x-axis. And something working in perpendicular to it will be the vertical component or the vertical axis. Understanding my point? You have to simplify things. All right. Did you get my point, or did I confuse you even more?
I'm a bit.
Okay. Let me write down. Okay. First things first. Let me simplify.
Don't
You
rotate.
won't rotate. Don't rotate. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, even if I consider okay, you have rotated it, but what have you done? Like you have written this W P Q R. I mean, what is this? I did not understand anything at all. Did you
I'm
understand my
speaking in
question? I told you to distribute it or resolute it into components. So why would you
oh
write like random PQ vectors to get like components? What do you have to do?
um
Say this is a rolling ball. So for distributing it into components, what do you do? Okay. From parallel to plane. What am I calling it? This is parallel to plane. Okay. You can write it down. Okay. So parallel to plane. Parallel to plane. Okay. And in this direction, we're getting perpendicular to plane. Focus on the keywords I'm using. Perpendicular to plane. Perpendicular to plane. Okay. So that means whatever is parallel to plane, we will get horizontal component. What will we get? Tell me.
Horizontal component.
Horizontal component. Okay. Let me just erase them because it's like a bit, what can I say, congested here. Okay. Okay. So now in this direction, you will get the horizontal component. Is there any confusion now? Because
Um,
this is the plane and you are getting a component parallel to this plane. That means this is the horizontal component, right? And I
yes.
have taken an exactly perpendicular from this surface. Okay, so this is perpendicular to plane. This will be our vertical component. Okay, so now if this is alpha, then that means that what will be the angle between these two vectors? Tell me.
Which two vectors?
Forget about vectors. This line and this line. What will be the angle? This line and this line.
Alpha.
How can this be alpha? This is alpha.
180 minus alpha. Sorry, 90 minus alpha.
90 alpha minus alpha. Okay, because this is 90 degree, right? Okay, so that means it will be, what will be? Tell me what will it be? This vector. What is the component? Tell me this component.
Exact. X.
There is no x here. First of all,
No, the magnitude of the ball.
yes. So
Times.
there is no magnitude. Okay. See, what did I say? I clearly mentioned that distribute the weight of the ball into two components. That was the question.
Oh,
You
okay.
are
Then
not
W
even
cosine 90
introducing
minus
W.
alpha.
You are just going
Sorry,
with PQR.
I can't believe the
Okay.
word.
Okay,
But
so
yeah, it's W cosine
W
90 minus alpha.
W cosine 90 minus alpha. That will turn into W sine alpha. You understand that? And this one,
W sine 90 minus alpha.
so 90 minus alpha. So here the horizontal component equals to W cosine 90 minus alpha. The vertical component equals to W sine 90 minus alpha. Okay. These things are like very important for you to understand. Okay. You have to understand them properly. Okay.
Okay.
Like things are going to get difficult from here on. I'm not going to give you false hope that okay, this is the only difficult thing, and then everything will get easier. No. All right. We are just only reading Newtonian mechanics, and this is the most preliminary stage. All right. We will work with like say forces. Okay. We will work with inertia. We will work with say stress and strain. Okay, we'll work with gravity. So all of things are I mean complex. One after another you will get just complex things. Okay, and I'm always mentioning that as you are getting this free time, train yourself how to cope up with the pressure. Okay, because when you will get to college, like you won't be able to figure out where to do and what to do. All right, you will be lost. So get used to the pressure. Like with all the things of life, how can you manage to study my things? All right. Other than that, it will be really difficult for you to like. There won't be like only one subject. You have to like maintain physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology, and all. Okay. And as I said, things are going to get just difficult from here. And this is the second chapter of our book, and the first chapter is like basic introduction and measurements and all. Okay, so obviously you understand that in a book, the like difficult chapters are usually in the latter part, right? Okay, so
Yeah.
this goes for Newtonian mechanics, all right, and there are some chapters like air pressure, okay, like the kinetic theory of air molecules and all. Then we have to study about static electricity. I hated electricity. I I still hate it actually. Static electricity. Okay. Then there is current electricity. Okay. Magnetism, optics. These are like, you can visualize some things here in Newtonian mechanics. But when you will get to like electricity, optics, it's more of your imagination. Okay. Because those are like Einstein's theory of physics. Because you cannot like examine it in pen and paper or in the real world. Okay, you have to just go into laboratory, which is out of our scope. You cannot just put light into a prism and see everything. You have to,
Uh,
you might be seeing that thing, but say for instance, like creating the what is it term, like the imaginary lines for a magnet. Okay, you cannot examine it. So things are going to get difficult. Then again, theory of relativity, one of the most complex topics of this whole world. Okay, you have to study that. Okay, understanding my point. And you will get say 100 or 200s of formulas per subject. Okay, I remember I used to have a book which only has like formulas written down. Okay, and it's like 100 and 150, because when we sat for the BUET examination or any examination, admission examination for university, we used to get 3 minutes for a 10 marks math. And don't think that these are like, okay, maybe say one or two line maths. No, these are like say one page maths, but you have to do in a short space, within a short span of time. So there is no time for thinking. You have to like be very quick. Or you have to remember all the formulas. And at that very pressure moment, when you have to think, okay, my parents are hoping for me, my relatives are hoping for me, I am hoping for me for a better future and all. Okay. So whenever you will be sitting for the university examinations, you will have to deal with all these things as well. Okay. I'm not like I'm just making you cautious of the facts. Okay. So
yeah.
this is for physics. Again, for mathematics, in whichever university you are going to admit it to, like in case of any science subject you study, mathematics you cannot like they will surely put 200% emphasis on mathematics, and there will be difficult questions you have to attain. All right. So do we have to like study everything out of the box to get the difficult questions correct? No, it's not the thing. If we have the basic concept clear, if we have do the beginning things properly, then maybe 1 or 2 months of hard work you will easily get like the difficult things correct, because we get around 2 or 2.5 months to prepare for the things, the difficult things, and we get it, alhamdulillah. The ones that are better, they will get it. Okay, so you will also be able to get it. But from the get go, you have to be very careful about the things. You cannot lag behind here. No matter how
Okay.
much assignments of English and history are there, no matter how much work is there in your life, you have to make it possible. Okay, you have to make it possible. I have passed your stage. And I used to get like, what is this life, and why do I have to deal with so much pressure and all.
Hmm.
But this is the fact. Okay, you have to be careful from the get go. Okay, and this is like I'm saying about physics. I think physics is the most fun thing to read in college, and I hated mathematics. Okay, although I might be, if you want to self evaluate myself, I might be a little better in mathematics, but I enjoy teaching and learning physics more. Okay,
Hmm.
so you will hate mathematics. I'm pretty sure about that. That nobody, there is like very few students in the college level who would love mathematics. Okay, it's not like the easy peasy thing. Okay, I just write down 2 or 3 lines. Okay, I am getting the actual answer. Okay, so you will get trigonometries, differentiation, integrations. Okay, all right. You will obviously get like 1.5 year or 2 years time to get used to all of these. Okay, but you have to maintain the regularity. Okay, you have to be consistent and solve all this. Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, so next day we will um see more maths. Okay, we are mostly done with the important topics, and then we will see the three-dimensional coordinates of vectors. Okay, and yeah,
Yes.
that's that, I guess. For and dot products and the cross products are mostly important for mathematics, but we will see somewhat in the physics as well. Whereas even if you get questions regarding dot products or cross products, you will mostly get it in mathematics portion. Okay, in physics teachers don't tend to give these questions. Okay, okay, so there you will study vectors in mathematics as well and also in physics as well. Okay, but in physics you will get like conceptual questions like how can I, in which direction should I uh, like use the lawn roller, or what is the relative velocity between the two objects, or in which direction should I run a boat, somewhat like that. Okay, or in a hilly region, how should I like turn my car or something like that. Okay, so these are the things you will get. Okay, so anyway, Allah Hafiz for today, and tomorrow I'm going to be very busy after tomorrow, so actually let's take a class tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you are saying you are afraid that you won't be able to wake up
Um,
in 7.
no, I think I'm able to wake up because today I kind of woke up at 5. I don't know why,
Okay,
but I woke
all
up at
right.
5.
Okay,
So I
so
think I'm able to do.
okay, so
Hmm?
then I think so then 3 a.m. or 7 a.m. Is it like difficult for you to concentrate at the morning?
Not quite. It's just tiring
It's tiring. Why is it tiring?
because I normally wake up at 11.
You wake
So,
up at 11. Okay.
but it's all
Okay,
right. I can
tell
wake up
me.
at 7.
All right.
Hmm?
Because I don't want like you invest 1 hour and then the output becomes tends to zero. That won't be pleasant. Okay. So if you think that
No,
you
no.
can,
I'm
okay.
if I'm able to start school at 7:50, I can start learning at 7 o'clock.
Yes, yes, that is also true. Okay, all right. So then 16 December, Friday. Okay, Friday.
Yes,
All right.
Friday.
Okay. All right.
All
Allah
right,
Hafiz for
inshallah.
today. Okay,
Allah
inshallah.
Hafiz.